welcome back to another Patreon proper walkthrough video. So yeah, this is the set that I made for the second set that I made this month, and yeah, man's got like 30 minutes to explain all of this video. So like, let's get right into it. So like, this particular piece was actually inspired by this is named I meant like this first. Oh yeah, I'm very sorry like. This first piece is actually inspired by an artist called Waves. You guys supposed to know him. He's a well-known digital artist illustrator with very beautiful style, and I'm deeply inspired by this particular artist. So like, for this particular pose, I was actually inspired by this pose because like it felt cool. So I was like, let me use this for my character. And the way this character feels a little bit like a tomboy, swaggy thing, like pull hands in a pocket and taking a cigar and cigarette. So that actually makes sense in a way to me. So and I decided let's make a concept out of this. So starting with that, this a little bit so like we should call it a little bit of like way study. So like I tried my best to balance the pose of the way Guez uses this sort of like perspective. He measured his perspective right, the way the character's head is at the top. Wait a minute, why can't I draw on this layer? um okay, let me use a brighter pen, maybe that actually will work. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know why my brush strokes ain't work. Oh yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, the way Grace measured his perspective right, make putting the camera underneath the character. So in a way, okay, yeah, I think we can actually do like this. So the way it measured the character well, so we can actually see the character from down here. Our camera is set underneath here, so we can see the character face looking at the camera from down there. So it's a little bit kind of an intimidating pose. So it's actually a cool pose. So just drew it down here. Then I started with a base color. I'd start adding my character's outfit on it, since so I don't want this piece to actually feel too much like a GUI study. I want it to be like look like a GUI study plus my actual initial influence in this piece. So and I started adding my character's outfit on it. Then I started giving her colors and depth to it, and yeah, starting from here I started exploring with the lighting on the outfit. So at this particular point, I felt a little bit scared when I got to the rendering part, because like I don't want the character rendering to you know rendering is one of like the most hardest part when it comes to painting, right? So like what gave me the most problem was this actual sleeve, because like the anatomy of the hand, I don't want the hand to feel like it's bent. If you're wearing a jacket and you pull the jacket off, the end of the square is going to be much more like going upwards here, from here to here to here, like going down there, not the other way around, like the way this one just curves down like she got a broken hand. So like, so I have to measure that course back to our reference. The reference we had course Guay's didn't have his character, his character and is standing on top like that, so she's not wearing a jacket like our own character. So in a way I go have to remeasure that type of anatomy very well, a little bit more to understand. So then I went searching for different references of pulling your jacket off. Then got to this particular point where I refined it a little bit, then added details to the background. The reference, the painting for the background, I didn't actually save that down, cause like when I got a dilemma with this part, like, because this piece I didn't actually even want to release this piece at first, because I wasn't sure maybe I'll be able to create it, and in a way, I wasn't sure what people will think full about this piece. So like that sort of feeling got me thinking a lot about the piece. So like I didn't actually save much for the piece, but I was just like, let's just keep going. I'm making this piece for myself, like, for the viewers out there. Like, if people are going to like it, they're going to like it, and if they're going to hear it, and you should hear it. But like, it's not my problem, like it's the other people out there problem. So like, moving from there to this stage, I refined the sleeve a little bit. There's a reference of a jacket like this that I saw. So like I started looking at the way the reference looked like, the way the jacket wraps around the person's hand. So like I used it on this one. So like from there I got to the point I started adding base color to the skin of the character. I started painting the character. Like in the Grace scene, he got this, so Grace always uses this sort of like dark sort of lightning on the body of his character. So like I was like, I'm going to use that too a little because it looked awesome. So but like after I colored it to this particular point, it didn't actually feel a lot like me that much. So like I was like, what can I do to this? This looks like the finished work, right? So like I took a break from the piece for like, like 3 days or so to do the next piece, the continuation of this one. So like from this particular point, I was like, no, let me refine it a little bit. I don't want these controversies on like, is this a copy of Gue's or a Gue's story? I want it to be like a Gue's story, but also like my own piece, like my take on this type of thing. Like, how would Dokyo actually paint this sort of scene? So like from there, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna use this full time thing anymore. Like, I'm gonna refine the colors a little bit, then go to the finished work where I refined the colors a little bit. I changed the color band of the character hair so it wouldn't look like Irina from Grace artwork. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. And took a little bit of design from the Grace artwork. Yeah, like I love the hairband though. Like it felt really cool. Like when I was giving my character, because like normally my character always loses her hair. Like she doesn't pack her hair that much, but like I was like, maybe let me let her pack it a little bit. So that's why I actually made this initial idea up. And my character also got this cross earring before. I didn't even know it was similar to Goe, so like used it since it looks similar. So like yeah, so that's particular everything for this piece. And there was a what should I call it, a brush for chains. Then I used a little bit of the brush for chains to draw these chains, but it didn't actually look quite like how I wanted, so I started drawing it myself. And so yeah, so that's how I made this painting work. I look for different kind of reference. So I gave my character background this sort of like neon lit gaslight type of word. So like that's how everything is going purple, so everywhere in proper balance like that. So like yeah, I wanted this piece to feel, this sort of reference we got from Grace. It felt like how should I call it, it felt like this traditional world of world mixed with modern day in a way. But like since my world, the world that I'm creating is neon domination, like we go out a little bit of different type of light source right there. So like I added different blue skyline, different laptops and like cityscapes blurred at the background. I drew the chains there, and pretty much everything. Like I wrote the out what I usually around the character's outfit most of the time right there. And yeah, pretty much that's it for this particular set, and I hope you guys understand this one, and I hope you guys find it fun. So like, use a little bit of warm lightning plus blue cool light to make it look so real, lightning like a dreamlike type stuff. And to make the characters I feel intimidating, I make sure like she's got a little bit of that dark lightning up in the face, so it will feel intimidating to the viewers or what she's looking at, something like that. So like, yeah, that's it for this one. And moving to the second part of the set of this piece. This was the initial idea for it. So like, this particular piece, I wanted this one to be for the second character, the Lyra. The first character name is Karina, and this is the Lyra. Like the goal similarities, though. Like, oh yeah. So get into the tutorial. So like, this actually I found it on Pinterest. A pose like this I found on Pinterest. So I decided to just, work a little bit with it. So this one I didn't actually want it to be wanted it to look like that science type lab the first one had. I'm sorry. So yeah, like I didn't want it to have that type of science type lab the first one had. So I was like, let me give it a little bit of this traditional look vibe to it. So then I started mixing different type of backgrounds together. Of course, like I'm the type of person like when I draw the background, when I'm done with drawing the background first, so like painting the character for me would actually be much more easier to do. So you guys should actually be trying that out too if you finish the overall background, because like the background is actually one of like the biggest places in the painting. So it's actually really cool to be trying out painting the background first. So like, after this one, I just started adding colors to the character. There wasn't actually a lot of challenges when it comes to drafting out the pose for this one, but like the anatomy for this particular leg, I couldn't actually find a perfect what would I call it, I couldn't find a perfect reference for it. So like I had to use this over like my head to start refining it. I took a picture of my own leg and looked at how it would look if a character is sitting in this type of particular pose. Then I started refining. If you can notice, this leg is quite smaller, why it's quite no, this particular one is a little bit much more smaller, and this is a bit more bigger than this one is smaller and this is bigger. Sorry for that confusion. That happens a lot. So like there's okay, so then I use the texture brush to start mimicking the soft glow on the thighs of the character. There's, I don't know, maybe you guys know this soft pastel pen. It's quite good when you want to mimic a realistic texture. So like I started using that, and from there I started painting the character skin. I added lighting to the skin from the background. I wanted this piece to have a little bit of much more warmer tone than the first one I did. So like, yeah, like that's my take on this one. Like nothing too mad, man. Like so, yeah. So like this part, I started refining. If you can say, I started refining that leg some more, cause like it was actually a bit complicated. Like at this particular point, I didn't actually know how it would quite feel, because I was like, maybe I'm just gonna leave it like this and just post it like this. But like there's something like an OCD that can't actually let me just leave it like that. I just kept on refining and refining and refining till I got it to this point where, yeah, it looks much more balanced, right, yeah. But I feel like I have to study some more to get this anatomy of the leg proper, and yeah, that's just all about this. I just add much more detail into the outfit that I normally do, and yeah, just like we go a war found the background, this sort of like the other room tech place or stuff like that, and we go this sort of like camera looking at the character, hidden camera, stuff like that. I feel like that's pretty much for this piece. Just mostly challenge that I face right here is just like balancing how the lighting will quite look for the character to make the character look realistic than I actually used to do. Yeah, that's just mostly balancing the lightning and mostly like the leg right here, the ankle, like um these sort of like bone right here in the leg. I feel like if I knew how to do it some more, I would have actually added much more bone structure right here. You know, it would actually make it feel much more realistic, like the leg is hard, not soft. No stuff like that. But I feel like I can actually just leave the piece like this. It's okay, like as it looks. So, from there, let's move. Not to take your time. Let's move to um, the third the third set. I mean the third piece here. So okay, I feel like I didn't actually have the final work right there. Yeah. Oh yeah, the final work is here. Yeah, so for the third character, since she's a souls lady, the third character, I didn't actually have any idea for this character at first. Cause like when I finished drafting out the second character, I was like the third character. I didn't know what to do. At first, I had an idea of like maybe she's drinking this sort of like sake that most swordsmen drink like that. Like maybe she's drunk or something like that. But like, I feel like it wouldn't actually quite feel, or I didn't feel the idea. So I was like, scratch that, man. So, then just you know, just kept painting. Like I didn't know how to put all of this together. Like I just kept painting, like the second piece. Yeah, like the second piece that I explained the other time. Like I just kept painting it until one time I just like just upon I just sort of saw the reference. I just remember the reference I saved, like, is it not last year? Then I remember the reference of a swords lady, so then I decided to just draft it down. And yeah, just for let me just paint this. It looks actually cool. But like, what was the most hardest thing right here is like, after I drew the character, I didn't know what background would quite fit, so I was testing out different types of background. I actually edited the background on my brother's phone on this background, so I was like, maybe it's gonna actually look amazing, but it didn't actually quite fit. Cause like if this character has this whole like scientific neon background like the first one did, it would actually quite leave the second character left out in a way. You feel me? Like she will be left out in a way. Like why is she the only one with the traditional background? So it didn't actually quite fit what I actually initially had in mind. So like I was like, okay, maybe, and I can't go back to the second piece and start to add light difference of lightning to make it neon. It would look distort in a way since it's a finished piece. It's so solidified already. So like I was like, okay, let's just create a traditional background. But I didn't save that the reference and composition. Now I started the composition for the traditional background for this particular piece. I didn't actually save it down because like I was in a rush, because my schedule is actually really tight right now, because like we're gonna be doing the holiday soon, the Christmas, so I go be fast as possible to make at least the most piece I can do this year before it ends, and all of the new year piece I'm trying to make. All that all together, and I have to be consistent with this sort of painting. So like just at this point just drafted the background and just painted it, and yeah, I didn't have the reference with me right now, and saving for how I created the background altogether. But I can actually explain it to you guys. So the background came to me through this sort of like, I saw a scene from an anime that has this sort of like a traditional Japanese sort of background where samurais actually stay in. So like I use this sort of like lamp to indicate this sort of like warmness we go in the second piece. Oh wait a minute, the warmness we go in the second piece. Sorry, the warmness we go in this second piece. Then I wanted this character to also have that sort of same type of warmness. So that's the reason why I used this sort of like red background. At first I had an idea, I wanted to have this sort of like big poles up right around this corner, like all of this place, like, and also we go this sort of like traditional written Chinese name on it, stuff like that. but like but it didn't actually quite work, so I just started adding details to the background. At first I first painted this sort of reddish. I first painted this sort of reddish type background, then I started adding details to it, like different type of references that I saw. Then I saw this sort of like, when I was searching for make you powerful, the second character, I saw this sort of like traditional ladies or women's walking on the staircase. So since this character was sitting down, so I decided, okay, let I just sit down on the staircase. Then I added the staircase sort of railing on at a back. So moving from there, just start adding lighting to the character, painting the character skin. At this particular point, I thought I made a mistake with the character's head angle. Cause like um the head of the character feels like it's way too upwards right here, like, you feel me? And also this particular part, like, of the hair of the character, I feel like it's supposed to be right here, so it wouldn't actually be and clinging onto the character's neck too much. But like at the end of the day, I tried my best to actually feel all together. But it was quite challenging for me when I got to that point, because when I was adding colors to the character's eyes, to the character's face, I mean, it was quite, it made it a little bit, I felt a little bit uncomfortable at this thing, because I was like, would this actually look good? Because it's like the characters looks this the head of the character looks distort in a way. So like I actually just, I was just like, just trust the process. I just kept painting the character. I was like, if it doesn't look good, cause like on IB's Paintex that we use right here, we don't actually have this sort of like crazy lasso tool like Photoshop. Like IB's doesn't have crazy lasso tool like Photoshop. If I were to take this character head, I'm coming. Okay, yeah, I'm full. Yeah, if I was to take this character's head and say I want to make it a little bit smaller to this particular part, like this, in a way, when I did it like this, I feel like it actually makes sense a little bit, like it feels much more realistic, because she's not too tall like I set the character's head. You see, as you can see, you see what I'm saying right now, like the character's head, when I put it a little bit much more down right here, it feels a little bit much more realistic than the fact that the character's head is at the top right there. So like I got a little bit of distortion in the anatomy of this character head. So like I said, I base Pentex Lasso 2 is not as crazy as Photoshop. Lasso 2, like if I were to code that particular part to make it to bring the character head a little bit lower, it's gonna distort the background that I've already painted, and also the sword I have to start fixing all over again. And since that's so much work, and my software was actually lagging when I was doing this painting, so I was afraid to take the risk of doing that, so that's why I just left it like that and just started painting it to the final form. But I feel like if I was actually one day, if we were to do a remastered version of this artwork, I might fix the character's head angle a little bit more. So that's why I told you guys before that if you drawing, you should measure the angle of your character's head, body proportion, and background of everything very well, so you really actually make a mistake. And so that's mostly for this particular piece. And we got these vase flowers, yeah, just down there, just putting stickers and Chinese words, and just render the character's skin tone. The character skin tone was actually really hard to render, because when I got to this particular point, when I rendered to this particular point, I felt like, okay, since this block right this block right under here, the lightning coming from outside or from this particular lamp is shining upon it, so it's gonna shine upon the character's thighs. But it felt a little bit distorted a little bit from the character skin tone. It would turn the canvas upside down like this, because like mostly artists tends to do something like this. um they, oh, I can't do it right now. They tend to uh switch the canvas to a particular part like this, but from here to here, if you can understand what I'm saying, like the canvas, the character right here is going to turn to this side. Yeah, there's a tool for that. And but for me, I don't actually really used to do that a lot, but it actually makes you see what is it called again, the law of mistakes that you've done. Maybe if I had done that before, I might not have made this anatomy problem, anatomical head problem distortion that I have in this particular area. But for me, mostly what I do mostly is like I turn my canvas size upside down like this, so in a way I can see what's wrong with the piece, since I'm looking at the character from front right here, but when I turn it upside down, it actually makes sense in another way, and I can see my mistakes that I've made. So like before I thought the lightning from this brick is gonna shine upon the character skin tone, but nope, it didn't actually do that. And it's just made it look a little bit different from the overall skin tone of the character's body. And yeah, I just decided to just refine the character's legs a little bit. And the most annoying part of this artwork that got me a dilemma was like painting the characters, and for painting the characters and right here, when you're painting, sometimes you can't actually find reference for every particular thing. You can see a reference for this entire setting, no, I mean this entire character's pose, but you can never see what's it called again, a reference for maybe how to render a character's and like this, or how to render a character's face or body, or yeah, something like that. So like I have to start trying out different sort of lightning on the character skin tone to find which one is balanced. As you can see right here, like I got this sort of like blue, no, purple color from the character hair shining on towards the character's arm, and but like it felt a little bit like somehow it felt too bright in a way, so just like I continued to render it and start adding these type of bone structures in the characters, and but to simplify things a little bit for myself, so like I just added this sort of like deep shadow Oh, I'm coming. I just added like this sort of like deep shape right here. So I don't know, my app is lagging again. Oh god. I'm making a video right here, like stop lagging already. So like I was just saying, I added a bit of deep right there at that particular point. I had it right, so to just make it look a bit much more realistic in a way. So going from there, so from that particular point, that for all of this piece, like the most problem that I faced mostly was the distortion of the character head angle to the body, and to render the characters and right here and fitting the background together with this sort of like a little bit of traditional with the sort of like feel modern day futuristic a little bit, not futuristic but modern day set in a way. So like that's all for this particular piece. So you guys should try to learn more how to measure your perspective well, your proportion well, and try not to overthink everything. Yeah, so that's it for this particular setting. Just add the lightning to the railings and all of that. And yeah, let's move to the fourth one, right? So for this first piece, for this first piece, I mean, like a piece of pizza, like what? So yeah, for like this fourth one, I decided I wanted this character, all of them to come together, so we can know they are sort of like in the same sort of like apartment, or how should I call it, in the same sort of like environment, but just in like different places. They are in the same surrounding, but just in different places. Like you go like your brother in the house, he is in the same room, and you got your sister in the house, she's in a room, and you got your other brother in the kitchen. Just sort of stuff like that, but they can all come together in one big place to form a one big family. Weird talk. So yeah, like, so I just decided I wanted this character all to come together in this particular setting, and just to show this sort of like traditional setting. Like I said, I wanted to always do this sort of like traditional setting together with this sort of like modern day futuristic setting. So I was like, let me show you guys what this sort of like the world I'm actually creating is about more. So like then I just drafted out the characters poses. They should be together here and show this sort of like neon technology, like alien technology, like the character is awakening something weird, something surreal. So I wanted the lighting for this piece to actually be different from the ones I've been using, since all of them are this sort of like warm lightning. I wanted this scene to feel much more serious and have this sort of like dark lightning. So for this particular set, the most challenges I faced right while doing this is like the positioning of how this alien technology is gonna be. Like at first I didn't save those progresses, just delete these ones that I go down. But like at first I got this alien technology, right? I got it right here at this particular at this particular should I call it centimeter or what? So I just got the alien technology at that particular place right there. But in a way it felt weird because like if we go our camera angle down right here, if we got our camera angle down right here looking towards the character, how much of the character's new knees can we actually see? So I asked myself that question. So like that was the part. I just started erasing it. I started measuring it all over again. Then I used this sort of like technique that I usually use in a way. like I measured these the characters. How much of the characters new cap can we see from here, from this down camera to here? If the character's head angle is above here, would this how big is this alien technology gonna be? So those type of, oh my god, my head is lagging. Sorry for that. Doing it's really annoying. So um I asked myself that question. So, how much of the new needs of the character can we actually see? So, it's one. It actually depends on how big war it in front. It's in foreground is actually big. How big it is. So, like those type of stuff, it's actually questions you should ask yourself when you doing something complex like this, especially when you go a down camera angle. A down camera angle is one of like the most hardest, cause like you have to be looking at the characters upwards. The camera is downwards. It's not just, you should be careful the camera shouldn't be at this particular center point, or else you have this sort of like a distortion in your proportion. The camera angle would just look like it's looking at the characters front from face to face. It wouldn't look like the characters like it wouldn't look like camera is like from underneath here. So like from that particular point, just when I go to that particular point, as you can see right here, I caught the what's it called again? What's it called again? I caught down a little bit, the alien tech. So like from there, I just started adding details to. I just added adding details to the characters. This sort of alien tech was the one I first painted first, cause it was actually something I wanted it to look insane. See, since it's just like it's like the last time it is, am I going to say it's the last time I'm going to color paint this character in a set for this year? So like I wanted to do something so dramatic, something you guys are going to visually enjoy. And yeah, so like that's my initial take for this one. And I painted the alien tech based on a reference I saw from a movie that I watched. Alien, what's it called again? I can't actually remember, but like I got the reference from that particular sense. So like just started to add I just started rendering it and use the iron brush to mimic realistic iron stuff on the alien sort of technology right there, and just started painting the overall background for the character. So when I got to this particular point, the piece was actually looking great, like I imagined, until I got to the rendering level. I got to the rendering part where the characters rendering. I didn't actually know, because I didn't actually know how to render them, because like I'm not really used to using dark lightning that much. But like, oh, sorry for that. I'm not really used to using dark lighting ain't that much. I'm really used to using this for like um, warm, cool mornings or afternoons or evening type light. But like using this for like dark light was like really mad for man to do like. So like I didn't actually really know how to use the internet. So then I just felt like let me just go according to um the plan. Just since I've got all of the background done, let me just continue to render adding details to it. So like just render the character and got to this particular point where I didn't actually really know how to color the characters. And so then let me give you guys a little bit of escaping technique that I learned along the way. When some stuff you actually render it to a particular point and you don't really actually know how you going to continue with it, then you can use this sort of like dark sort of lightning. I mean dark sort of shadows to hide um, your mistakes. In a way, you can actually use dark sort of shadows to hide your mistakes in a way. So that's why I had this sort of like we got a little bit of something like this sort of what would I call this sort of iron thing. The light is reflecting it on our skin, but we don't actually have it on other character skin. Why? Because I'm actually using a technique, a line technique. I believe it's a line technique, and which is not, but it's actually something we can actually use to make our piece look much more better. So like it's actually a great technique to use. You can use dark values to create cinematic tension. Like I used it for the down part of the sort of like alien tech to make it look cinematic. So that's all for this particular saying. The distortion of the proportion from this top angle to adding details to the background, and how I didn't quite know how to render the character, and also like the character face here. I just just used a little bit of dark colors, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this particular place. And just decided to add this sort of like blood splash on the character because like alien tech doesn't really have any blood splash on it, just sort of like cool type stuff like I feel like I can just put on the character's outfit. But like I supposed to have add this like black oil on the character outfit, but it really actually really reflect that much. It's not really something mad though, but just decided to use that sort of blood stain. And just luckily I love the way the characters are posing, all in all. The fact she's got this sort of elegant pose, she's got this sort of like bad guy pose, and she's got this sort of like cool, what will I call it, cool intimate pose, like um a friend or a sister or something like that. So that's pretty much it for this particular. Then let's move to the final set. The final set is sorry, I don't know why my app is really lagging today. It's really annoying. Uh yeah, so this is the final phase of the entire piece. So for this particular painting, I wanted it to feel like this sort of like, what would I quite call it, this sort of like movies that we watch, where we see this sort of like something crazy is about to happen, like there's this sort of like demonic scientist this sort of box on it. So just decided to use this sort of angle, this sort of camera angle from top, since we have been using this down camera angle from the start. And for this particular angle, it was quite an angle, something I'm not actually really used to. So then I got a lot of reference down to draft out background this background setting, and I didn't actually save a lot of references for I didn't actually save a lot of process for this particular piece. And the first one was like I got tired when I got to this part. I was just like, bro, like let me just finish this real quick. I just want to go take a break. Like it's really intense to just keep painting and painting and painting. So the first idea was just like we should have this sort of like demonic sort of like science evil box, like these characters are up to something, something opening up something, those sort of cinematic thing. Then after I drew the box, I refined it a little bit. I didn't actually quite show you. I refined it a little bit more. Then I got the idea of like, what, let's add um a wall found underneath this sort of technology, because I remember this sort of series I watched, Stranger Things. They put the main character in this sort of like sacred stuff like war, and add a sultry, then open up the underworld, something like that. So that's why I decided to render this sort of war on the character. I use the waterloo brush. There's a brush waterloo. Then I use it to paint the overall background for the war meant the war. Then from there I added this sort of like, I don't know, maybe you guys are actually used to my piece. If you've seen a lot of balls that I show, oh my god, I called balls like a lot of these sort of like neon balls that I show. Just like this idea is from the anime like Dragon Ball. Those sort of like Shenron type Dragon Balls. Then I decided to add this sort of like water, lightning, and lightning sort of balls there, and added curtains to this sort of that part to just cover up the part that part, and drew the characters legs and their shoes. So starting from there, I was like, let me how can I create the remaining background? So like to make it look cinematic, not just like dark water, lightning, dark water right there. So I used that sort of like bright lightning from the fourth piece and used it to create depth for this particular part. And I would actually advise you guys, if you have this sort of like what would I call it, a camera angle you're not used to, you can go download Magic Poser. It's a software used in creating different types of angle. If you're not really used to creating angles, different type of angles, so I used it to create this sort of like head for a character. Then I changed the head to this sort of box. It's just like take some techniques that you just try out and just refine upon each other. Then get to that particular point right there. And these floorboards, I saw some references on Pinterest, I saw some from other artists, then I tried to make those stuff and use it right here. And this character's shoe, it's not actually the type of shoe I want character to be wearing, but go and change that when maybe there's a scene where I show her shoes again, cause like she's wearing like this sort of like tech wear type outfit. Then she's wearing this tuxedo type shoes. It doesn't actually quite balance. Like what kind of fashion is that, bro? So like there's this sort of like tuxedo, shoes, but there's a different version where the shoe is more like this. It's more like a shoe, not a tuxedo. It's got this sort of like thing like this. Put again, like this. So just something like that, just something like this, But I was just like, for this particular piece, like I'm really tired right here. Let me just paint it like that, just leave it all like that and just finish the artwork. So that's it for this particular thing. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and I thought I'm gonna use 30 minutes on this process walkthrough, but I feel like it's about like 40 minutes or so now, isn't it? And yeah, thank you guys for supporting me. Yeah, I'll try my best to be learning more, studying more, and thank you for supporting me so I can keep on going on this journey. And yeah, that's pretty much everything.